The Vancouver Canucks are having themselves a ball. After a loss 2-0 against the Ottawa Senators Monday afternoon, we are seeing a little bit of a break. They don't play until tomorrow versus the Nashville Predators. But with all that said, we had ourselves a very interesting Tuesday for Vancouver Canucks news and former Vancouver Canucks players. Because man, oh man, is Patrik Allvin getting embarrassed by what's going on. Ryan Henderson, the producer of Donnie and Dolly, tweeted this out last night, March 10th, 2026. Let's see how some former Vancouver Canucks are doing tonight. First, the 20th goal of the season for Kiefer Sherwood versus Buffalo. That's a new career high. Second, Bo Horvat just scored his 28th goal of the season in his 51st game of the season. He scored 28 goals in 81 games last season. Third, 37 assists in 33 games with the Wild for Quinn Hughes. And fourth, that's 4 goals in 2 nights for Conor Garland. Oh, my goodness. It is absolutely a bloodbath for former Vancouver Canucks going out there and dominating with their new teams. I get it, you know. You're never going to hold Kiefer Sherwood or Bo Horvat or Quinn Hughes off the score sheet forever. It's not like these guys are never going to produce points ever again. But the fact that March 10th was one of these nights where we can look at all of them and say that they're doing decently well, that is a shot in the foot to Patrik Allvin. And I'd say it's even getting worse because we have ourselves another player who is in the Edmonton Oilers system, whose name has been brought up repeatedly as one that has been looking amazing as of late, Vasili Podkolzin. Here's a clip from yesterday's Edmonton-Colorado game where Vasili Podkolzin is able to dangle the pants right through the D and then come in on goal by himself. He did this against the Colorado Avalanche, and he also did this the other day against Vegas. Another similar play where Podkolzin forces a breakaway and then is able to get the goal at the end on Adin Hill. Rob Williams, the hockey guy, said Podkolzin, at that time, had 15 goals, same as the Vancouver Canucks leader. It's really a shame that Rick Tocchet essentially pushed Podkolzin out of Vancouver by telling him his hockey IQ and decision-making wasn't good enough. Obviously, we'll never know, but it feels like he could have been a player here if he was given more of an opportunity. That was 2 days ago. You had Sapster going out there and saying the same thing. Podkolzin is literally everything you'd think Tocchet would have wanted in a player. I don't think it's an anti-European thing for what it's worth, but rather, I think he struggles coaching players who struggle to speak English. The trend is too damning to ignore. There is no universe where Daniel Sprong should be in a Rick Tocchet-coached lineup over Vasili Podkolzin. And this is in response to some of the other comments made by Podkolzin where he said that Rick Tocchet said that the guy didn't have good decision-making. They called me in for a meeting and they told me for several reasons, right now you're not at the NHL level. They told me your work ethic is the best, you're in the best shape out of anyone, but your hockey IQ isn't NHL level. You're making the wrong decisions out there. That is how Vasili Podkolzin was treated in Vancouver, and now he's going out there and looking like Pavel Bure for the Edmonton Oilers. Oh my gosh, the Canucks might have messed up here big time. Now, I won't necessarily say that Vasili Podkolzin is the next Bure, that he's going to be a 90-point, 60-goal guy and he's going to make the Canucks look like fools. But what I am saying is this guy has 29 points in 65 games this season. He's already bested his career high in points in a year. He's on pace for 20 goals, and he's now starting to produce a lot more with more ice time. Vasili Podkolzin, with the extra step in his game, is now starting to look like that dog that was playing at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup in 2018-19 which led to him getting drafted 10th overall by the Vancouver Canucks in the first place. That was the tournament where he showed off the shot and the goal scoring and the bulldoggedness, the wrecking ball qualities in his game, and now he's doing it in Edmonton. He was doing it somewhat in Vancouver, but then his confidence got shot, and he was too scared to make mistakes because Tocchet would bench him. And now he's in Edmonton, got sent over there for a 4th, and now he's putting on displays that make him look like Pavel Bure, for crying out loud. Now, let's go back over to some of the other guys that were doing pretty well. I wanted to focus on Conor Garland a little bit, because if you head over to Garland, this is probably the other guy that's making Patrik Allvin really want to suffocate through his decision-making right now. Conor Garland went through an extreme goal-scoring slump with the Vancouver Canucks. He scored a goal Tuesday, December 16th against the New York Rangers, and then he didn't score a single goal for the rest of his time with the Canucks. That's 20 games worth with 0 goals, almost 3 months without a goal. And then guess what? He gets traded over to Columbus. He gets 2 goals Monday night against LA in a 5-4 overtime loss. And then he gets 2 goals the next night against Tampa Bay in a 5-2 win. Conor Garland has 4 goals in his last 2 games as a member of the Blue Jackets. And now we are starting to see Columbus fans going out there and talking about, hey, I don't know how I went all my life without watching Conor Garland in a Blue Jackets jersey. The motor on that man is unbelievable. Night and day difference in Monahan and Kent Johnson's game. Lucky to have him here in Columbus. Jeff Patterson said, yeah, back-to-back 2-goal games for Garland. Blue Jackets fans are taking an immediate shine. He literally stopped trying once Hughes got traded. His interview after that 1-game post-Hughes, he was pissed, you could tell. Knew he was gone at that point. Everyone learns eventually, Wyatt Arndt says. And I think the biggest thing that we can talk about with Conor Garland, it's like, oh, well, this reply went out there and said, oh, who cares about how Conor Garland is doing? It's irrelevant. Sapp replied saying it's actually extremely relevant. If Garland produced like this sooner, whether it was ability, coaching, or effort, Vancouver could have gotten a big haul for him, as opposed to a 2nd and a 3rd round pick, which, given his production at the time, was fine, but left more to be desired. Here's the thing. I had a lot of people in my personal life saying, hey, how would Garland only go for a 2nd and a 3rd? He's a lot better than that, isn't he? And yeah, he is. He is supposed to be better than a 2nd and a 3rd, but he just wasn't playing that well in Vancouver. No points, no goals. He was definitely unmotivated, and the fact that he was doing all this in a year where it's the last year of his tradability before he gets trade protection and a 6x6 extension. There's no way that a team would have been willing to take on that guy at full value. And Columbus, they decided, okay, we'll take him on, 2nd and a 3rd. He's going through a slump right now. If this backfires and we've got his contract on for 6 years and he's got trade protection, so it's a pretty big risk. But now he's in Columbus and he's getting 4 goals in 2 games. Like, oh my goodness, everything is looking so bad for Patrik Allvin and the Vancouver Canucks. Like, this is so embarrassing for the team. Again, just to see good players get moved for pennies on the dime and then seeing them doing well in their new teams. I'm not even talking about Quinn Hughes or Kiefer Sherwood or Bo Horvat, but Conor Garland and Podkolzin are the big ones. The fact that Podkolzin can go out there and look like Pavel Bure, we've got Oilers writers and Oilers fans saying that, yeah, this guy's playing some of the best, highest-paced hockey of his career. He's finding rushes. He's able to open up space himself. And you got Conor Garland scoring 4 goals in 2 games. It took him 3 months to get a goal after his last Vancouver Canucks goal. Now he's here doing it 4 times in 2 days. Like, what else do you got to do, man? We're Vancouver Canucks fans. We're struggling right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about all of this Canucks hubbada? How do you feel about Podkolzin and Garland? And I guess if you wanted to get a conversation going on Sherwood and Hughes and Horvat, that's also possible. Who really knows? But how do you feel about all this stuff? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.